We gon' turn it up tonight. You are ready to party. We're going tonight. We're ready. I'm gonna live today like today is my last. Grateful when I spend the day in the past, stay in the past. I work hard on my life, but today I'ma pray, I'ma laugh. I'ma give praise, I'ma pray, I'ma celebrate the day, I'ma dance and take advantage of the day and a chance to see everybody move. Take a shot at how to shoot. Everybody living it up. It's so much time for home. Everybody moving, everybody take a shot at how to shoot. Everybody living it up. It's so much time for home. The music's moving. I'm really amusing you. If you hear the music, you get grooving. I know. I came to shut the party down like 5-0. I put 5 on that. I put 5 on wax when I rhyme on tracks. That's the least I can do. This is why I'm hot and I got fans too. Hands high, wiggle side to side. Hands up. Wiggle side to side. I suggest just going ham instead of beat. Tonight is 5. I just say you and I, you and I, T. Why not? We gon' party like it 99 and the ball drop. So for the love of music, for the night spread love, let's do it. I just wanna see everybody moving. Everybody take a shot at the show. Everybody living it up. It's so much better. Everybody moving. Everybody take a shot at the show. Everybody living it up. It's so much better. Everybody moving. Everybody take a shot at the show. Everybody living it up. It's so much better.
Check. You ain't know what time it is, man. Live with this your boy Wiggles. It is your boy Wiggles, man. And we are live at home. And I'm welcome to Vanessa here with your opinion, Wiggles World Network, man. You know what we do. And you know how we do what we do, man. Tonight's guest, man, is one of my good brothers, man. The model name was Conscious Sigma Men. But we talking about moving forward, moving Sigma forward, that is, man. If y'all just not tuning in, go ahead and tag your friends, family, colleagues, co-workers right now. Share the video right now. Share the video right now, man. It is going down in less than 3 minutes. It is going down, man. So go ahead and share that video right now, man. Tag your friends, family, colleagues, co-workers. You are live with this your boy Wiggles on Wiggles World Network. Home of the young world, the next area opinion. Let's go.
Everybody moving, everybody take a shot at the show. Everybody living it up. It's so much like a party. Everybody moving, everybody take a shot at the show. Everybody living it up. It's so much like a party. Everybody moving, everybody take a shot at the show. Everybody living it up. It's so much like a party. Everybody moving, everybody take a shot at the show. Everybody living it up. It's so much like a party. Everybody moving,
Yo. What it is, man. It is your boy Wiggles, and you are live with It's Your Boy Wiggles, man. A special interview, man. Y'all know I don't do nothing on Thursdays, but tonight we are doing something on Thursday night, man. A special interview, man. It is voting season, man, for the greatest organization in all of the land. Private Civil Attorney Incorporated, man. Yes, y'all. It is time for us to elect us a new international president. And tonight, I have the pleasure of sitting down with a very experienced, seasoned, well-versed man of Sigma tonight. Lamothe is in the building with me. And before he comes on here, man, I'm about to read this bio. I'm gonna snap some snippets of it, man, because when I tell you this is an autobiography, and I can't wait for him to be able to break it down for you himself. We're gonna talk Sigma real quick, man. The number 5 in the line of 10 served as the Lions vice president, was inducted into the Mu Zeta chapter at Rutgers University, who had 40 members on campus at the time of his initiation. Since his induction in the Sigma in April 22nd, 1988, President John has remained committed, active, and passionate about his beloved fraternal organization. Becoming a member of Sigma during his second semester freshman year allowed him to serve in multiple positions and capacities. In his undergraduate experience, allowed him to successfully serve in positions as chapter education director, vice president, president. During his time at Rutgers, Mu Zeta was leading the proactive chapter on campus and within New Jersey and Sigma. While in college, Ja consistently talked about if Sigma men apply for 12-inch rule to their daily lives, they would excel in the classroom and be able to overcome any challenge. Ja has worked with the local chapters in California, providing support for high school age students in Compton, providing support to collegiate and alumni Hawaii chapter by delivering a keynote address at their scholarship event, representing what our New York brothers and speaking out against the injustice of Eric Garner. Work with our St. Louis chapter, planning and coordinating our Sigma Youth Summit in response to killing the Michael Brown. Work with our Little Rock and Central Arkansas chapters and coordinating our Little Rock 9 rally. And my brothers keeping our forum at Conclave. Work with Orlando chapter Sigma Leadership Academy and Collegiate Leadership to provide first class experiences for our Sigma Summit. There with just a few examples that demonstrates Ja's officer level engagement, commitment, and dedication to working with collaborative teams to ensure that Phi Beta Sigma men, say it again, that Phi Beta Sigma men are seen, heard, and felt what our communities need us the most. Ladies and gentlemen, that was just the tip of the iceberg. Help me welcome to the forefront, man, the one, the only, Ja Lamothe. I like how I say that right there, man. Come on, brother.
Hey, man, I appreciate that intro, brother Trey. I
Hey,
love your energy, man. I
hey,
love the fact that you pronounce my name well, and just thank you for the opportunity for coming on this platform and just sharing my journey and my story with the Blue and White family.
hey, look, man, I appreciate you taking out your time, man. I know you got sit-ins with Barack, Michelle. I know you got to go and you got to talk to everybody and all of the different pink seats. You got to sit and talk with the different mayors. You know, you got to talk with the police chiefs and the sheriffs and the captains. So much is happening, so much going on. They pulling on your brain, man. And so, again, thank you so much for taking out the time, man, to sit down with me. Long time coming, man. And again, thank you even for coming in, sitting with my chapter, man. We're a small chapter here in Hinesville, Georgia, a chapter of 17 men who've been in Sigma for well over 30, 40 years, up to just less than a year. You took the opportunity, man, the first person actually to come and sit with us, man, even before I state director. And so again, kudos to you. Thank you so much. I read out of just a little glimpse of your bio, but on my show, man, I give everybody the opportunity to do what they do. Tell us who you are, what you do, your passion, and while you're here with me today, we're gonna take that bio, we're gonna break it down. Once we have a little conversation and talk about your journey in and through Sigma and what you've seen and experienced, then after that, you're gonna have an opportunity, man, to break down your platform for your Sigma brothers and those who are watching, man, and inspiring to do something great in the organization. Okay.
Okay, appreciate that, brother. So again, so just start off, I'm a brother that was born of two immigrants that came from Haiti, came to this. I was actually born in Zaire, Central Africa, where my father was teaching at the university. And then after birth, after being in Haiti and being in Zaire, Central Africa for 2 years, went to Haiti and had my first education there. And I came to the United States when I was 8 years old. So, and once coming to the States, obviously, I'm multilingual. I speak French, I speak Creole, I speak English, and I also speak Spanish. So I'm multilingual. But I wound up going to Catholic high school for 12 years and, graduated from Essex Catholic and wound up going to Rutgers University. And there is where I was introduced to Sigma, which was very foreign to my family, right? As immigrants, Caribbeans, I went to college to get an education. So they weren't trying to hear any of that, right? So I had to kind of share with them the benefits and the values, in terms of being, a member of a fraternal organization. But I come from a household too of 4 sisters, so I didn't have any brothers. So I was yearning for that, that brotherhood experience. And I went to a few smokers. And back then, interest group meetings were called smokers. Correct. And I went to the alphas and I went to the iotas and I went to the sigmas. And I stopped after going to the sigmas because I felt right then and there that, Sigma was calling me. There was no need to go to any other smokers after that. And my second semester, freshman year, I pledged. Like you indicated in the intro, I was, number 5 of a line of 10. I was a line president, actually. I acquired the name Cool Breeze online because I was like, look, no matter what happened, whatever came, let's keep level heads and just keep it moving forward. Even then, I was talking about moving forward as a pledge to try to get to where we needed to go, and that was on our journey to become Sigmas. So so while at Rutgers, I triple majored political science, philosophy, and Africana studies because I have a strong passion about culture, right? So and that kept my drive in Sigma and as well as other civic organizations because I always prioritize who we are. I always think it's important to know who we are, where we came from, so we can create our own present and future. But I had a blessing of becoming chapter president at a PWI. When I pledged, there was 40 brothers on the yard. So we crossed 10. It was 50 brothers on the yard at a PWI. So that was very interesting. Worked with white frats, worked with the D9, but we were killing it on the campus of Rutgers University. And after after graduating, I joined a graduate chapter in Northern Jersey, but then I wound up moving to South Jersey. And I chartered my current chapter, Lambda Sigma. But I've been fortunate to serve our beloved organization, Wiggles, at every level. Collegiate chapter president, alumni chapter president, state level, regional level, and international level. And it's been a blessing and a great journey along the way. I've met lots of brothers, and I'm very passionate about Sigma. So just being able to do what I do within the organization because of my passion and love for Sigma and love for my fellow brothers and sisters. Just trying to improve, our communities. It's just been a blessing. It's been a labor of love, man. So that's the Sigma journey.
Hey, look. So I want to go back, man, to the beginning. I can't even pronounce the where you were born. I can't even pronounce that word. You just Zaire. That's what you said.
Zaire, which is my daughter's name. Zaire, right? Zaire is in Central Africa, which is in Congo.
Zaire, and then Haiti, man. You gotta. I don't think I've ever spoken to anyone that was from Zaire or or Haiti, and if I have, not on this type of platform, to tell me what was life like for you as a young kid, because you said you came to the States at age of 8. So prior to that, man, what is life like? What are you experiencing? What is the culture? What is school like? What is family? All of that. Give me a little bit of that.
Okay, so I don't remember too much about being in Zaire because I was 2 when I left.
Right.
But going to Haiti, I can definitely speak from 2 to 8 years old. And it's the Caribbean, man. So everybody looks like you and me over there. So we are the majority, right? so that's one major difference there. But warm all year round. When I was growing up, everybody, the village raising a child was a true concept because I was being raised by my aunts, my father's sisters, and brothers. So my aunts and my uncles were raising me, and it was just a great experience. Like just kind of seeing, everybody, helping my parents raise me as a young child. So the school system's a little different over there, much stricter, longer days. You go to school longer throughout the course of the year also. Hence why I started learning all these multiple languages at a very early age. Even Haiti, which French is the official language, but people speak Creole, another language, and because Haiti's right next to the Dominican Republic, you also learn Spanish while you're in school. So I learned the early foundation of all those languages. But it was a great experience. And my parents kept me there for a while because I had asthma as a child. So, they wanted me to just stay in a warm climate year round. But when it was 8, there's like, enough of that. You're coming to the States and we're gonna finish raising you, right?
Man, that's incredible, man. And so I'm always interested in knowing what that, if there's like a culture shock, once you come to the States from where you are, the difference. You said growing up, 12 years of Catholic school, and I know that schooling is different. So is there anything that you can remember about those young adolescents, those teenage years, that helped to instill in you who you are today, lessons from Catholic school, or just growing up Jersey. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into that, man. We want to know who you are. Everybody is dying to know.
Great questions. So yeah, man, Essence Catholic. My religion is Catholic. Most Caribbeans grow up being Catholic. So from grammar school all the way to high school, that too was a different experience. Going to Essence Catholic, we weren't, people of color was not the majority at the time.
Right.
Went to an all-boys school, so I had to kind of learn to kind of find my way in a non-majority environment. Right, I was the first president of Essence Catholic. That was a person that was not white. So that was I just feel that experience also enabled me to be an individual to kind of be able to adapt in any environment.
Man, you've been presidential from the beginning. What are we doing here? Presidential, who's that first black president at this Catholic school? What? That in and of itself.
Getting those white folks to vote for you, man, and telling them, why I'm a better person than the white person I was running against. That was a challenge. But I just think because of my upbringing too, my parents are very global in their thinking, right? And they kind of instilled that in me and my siblings. And we don't see ourselves, in a limited perspective. So because my concept, my philosophy of life is global, I think that allowed me to kind of not just talk it, but live it, and people to actually experience the fact that that I'm an inclusive person. I'm a person that's global in perspective and how I engage and interact with all walks of life. And I think that allowed me, one, to win that election at the high school level. Two, even on the college scene, being a president. I was the college president of a D9 that started the D9s actually having programs with our white fraternities, man. We were having functions in the white frat houses, because I thought that was an opportunity for us to kind of learn about each other. And that was the first time that was happening in 1988 and 1989. So I think that's important, man. So that was cool. You mentioned New Jersey. That's my home state, raised in the Garden State. And I think folks from Jersey, we got a little different, we got a little different flavor to us too.
Man, I mean, and listen, and I'm gonna make a reference to the person that you sound like, even though he's New York, but man, you sound like the Spike Lee of this thing, man. You setting all kind of trends. You opening the door, doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Quick. So listen, man, of all accomplishments, before we get into the college arena, man, of all accomplishments, in your opinion, would you say that being the president at your high school was the biggest accomplishment, or was there any other thing that you might have come across that you were just amazed at in your own self and your own ability to accomplish?
Well, I think, all accomplishments are, they have their own merit and value.
Right.
But I think one that's really personal to me is the fact that when I served as the International Director of Education of Phi Beta Sigma, I was given the opportunity to help facilitate the opening of our Phi Beta Sigma Vocational Technical School. And as I shared with you, I was born in Africa, but that was the first time I was actually setting foot back on the continent. And because, I grew up with education being very primary, the focus, I was very excited about being able to help, facilitate us, PBS, being the only, and still to this day, the only D9 organization that has a school on the continent of Africa. So that was very, exciting to me, living in the States, right? Making phone calls and talking to our friends in Ghana, making sure that, talking to our brothers on stateside, making sure everybody's like coordinated to ensure the opening of the school. That took a lot of coordination, took a lot of planning. It took a lot of effort, and I just was able to draw on my collaboration skills and have everybody, work towards that common goal. So to me, that was a really personal accomplishment with the Phi Beta Sigma. Yeah.
So collegially, man, you spoke of going to 3 different mixers, and once you got to the Sigma mixer, you decided to stop. In your opinion, what really set Sigma apart from the other 2 mixers? I remember Iota, and was it the Capitals or the Alphas?
It was the Alphas.
The Alphas. So what in your mind what set Sigma apart from those two at that time?
Okay. So, again, because I was always studious, right? And I heard the stereotype about alphas being into their books. I went to that smoker. I thought that, that might be a good fit for me. And it could have been a good fit for me, but like when the information they were sharing, it was a little kind of too stuck up for my for my liking, right?
Gotcha.
I went to the Iota smoker because I lived on a Paul Robeson dormitory where a lot of Iotas live. So I had developed some relationships with them my freshman year, my first semester. So I went just out of, because I liked them.
Right.
And I did my research and I thought they had a good smoker, but but I was like, man, they kind of new. So, so let me check out the others. I'm gonna go to all the smokers, right? But then when I went to the Sigma smoker, I just felt like, they were talking to me, because they were brothers that were like, the brother that introduced me to Sigma, he was a brother that was in his like third year of pre-law, and he was all about the books. I was like, yo, at the time I was thinking about law, and I said, yo, I liked him. I think I'm gonna like this chapter. But then there were basketball players on that were Sigmas. There were like club heads like that were Sigmas. There were cats that was like straight, that he's in college, he thought they were street. They were in college, So I like the diversity that I saw at the smoker. And I was like, man, I could just be whoever I want to be, and be a Sigma without any tags or stereotypes. And that appealed to me a lot, and the fact that they were talking about doing community service, they were talking about working with elementary schools that were right next to, to the university. That appealed to me. So I said, you know what? I knew right then and there that, everything they were talking about, there were things that my parents instilled in me. So I said, I found a home. This is where I'm going to be.
Hey, look, man, listening to Rutgers University in 88 sounds like Valdosta State University from like 98 all the way up until like 2008 or something like that. Maybe a little, but I mean, literally the dynamics of the organization, and you spoke towards like the ability to be who you are. That's one of my favorite things about our organization, and I can say it publicly, being able to be who you are individually, it's a gift and a curse. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're looking for uniformity and you're looking for that collective body, sometimes being that individual kind of hinders that thing. And so, I didn't have to go to no smokers, man. Like it was what it was. But this is not about me. It's about you. In your opinion, though, because I want to ask this question while it's on my mind. In your opinion, the collegiate life in '88 to the collegiate life now, knowing that you're not a collegiate, but just being an alumni, and having all the options that you have. In your opinion, what has changed about the collegiate experience for the better or the worse or whatever it is, in your opinion?
Okay, so I won't say worse, but from my perspective, it is different.
Okay.
And I say that so I can speak on my experiences, but I can also speak to, I have very strong relationships with brothers that are in college now. I still continue to be a collegiate advisor of 2 college universities. My son's in his first year at Villanova University. I mentor a lot of, collegiate brothers. So I talk to them because I think it's important to know what their thoughts are. It's important to know, to meet them where they're at. So when I speak to the differences, I'm speaking from not just what I think, but what they've shared with me, and what I believe that 88, I want to say from 88 to maybe like 95, Greek life was it, man. It was like, if you were a person of color, you wanted to be in a D9 organization, man. It was attractive to everybody, man. If you were white, you wanted to be a member of a D9 organization.
Right.
It was just like, it was on fire. But I think what's happened though, throughout the years, I think, a lot of our, like today, present day, a lot of our collegians, they have this perception that, they don't want to have to go out and recruit. They feel like, when I talk to them, a lot of what I hear is they believe if somebody wants to be interested, if somebody's interested in Phi Beta Sigma or whatever D9 organization it is, that person is going to come to them. Right. And I think that's that's a real challenge. And we got to change that, that perception or that ideology, because if we don't, recruit like some of these other organizations, then we're going to lose, and we're going to lose big. So we have got to be that organization to say, hey, I have mine, but I'm going to continuously 365 days a year recruit and quality brothers to help grow my organization. I think that's really key. It's very important. We've got to be an organization that, and if the collegians can't, we got to help them strategize. We got to help, give them the talking points. We got to help them, develop relationships with university officials, because that's very key too. Because we're because we're visitors on those campuses of the universities. So we got to make sure we have strong relationships with university officials at the same time. But we have got to, to get to a better place, man, because, like in the 80s and the 90s, we were like, students were seeking out those chapters because, those organizations, because they were real visible doing a lot of things. And I think even when we're doing some things, I think folks now, students are looking at other organizations. Right. When they think about what's the value added proposition, they're saying, okay, if I join this organization, how's that going to help me when I get out of school? If I join this organization, how's it going to help me while I am in school? And we've got to be able to have some, some tangible things while, students are in school to say, hey, Sigma is attractive to me because they're going to help me while I'm in school. They're going to help me when I graduate. They're going to help me, with my profession. They're going to help me with my networking. So these are the things that I think that are different, that we really got to, get better at and help our collegiate brothers to kind of, get to the point where we can grow exponentially.
Let's talk positions, man. And so, chapter president, when you go into alumni, you establish an alumni chapter. Let's talk that experience, establishing this alumni chapter. What kind of joy, pleasure does this bring, satisfaction? You know what I'm saying? And even with the process, man, what's happening in your mind, man, while all this is happening?
Well, you know how that started. I had gotten a promotion opportunity that moved me down from Northern Jersey to Central Jersey. And there were some brothers that, that had already started, working in the process of establishing a chapter. That's like, man, and I was the youngest of the other 10. And they said, man, we're looking to charter a chapter. Would you be interested in being a charter member? I loved it because I love Sigma. I said, yeah, I want to be a charter member. So being the youngest member of that core group of 11, I brought a different perspective. And, right. So for me, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be a charter member, but I'm also thinking I was already thinking like 5 years down the road, how am I going to bring and grow the chapter with cats that are my age range so we can ensure that we are having programming and initiative that's going to like be beneficial to us. So it was just a great experience, man. From 2000 when we had 11 charter members to now where we've got 127 members in our chapter, watching the growth of my chapter, being a charter member, creating programs, that we still do today, and just right, I'm just sitting back and I'm like, yo, this was my baby, receiving award. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I didn't even mean, because you going in, man, but man, I gotta be able to highlight this, man. I don't like doing the Noriega thing, cutting folks off when they're talking, but when the questions come, I have to ask, man, when did this chapter charter?
The chapter was chartered in 2000.
2020 years, man. You guys have gone from 11 to 121?
127 currently, and we still looking to grow, bro.
Yeah, man. Round of applause, man. You again, man. That's a lot of dynamic growth. You know what I'm saying?
And bro, growth is due to relationships, right? One, I think is due to the relationships that you establish. I think it's also based on what you're doing in your communities. Brothers have to see something that, that, again, like we talk about the collegians. Everybody wants to be part of a winning team, right? Everybody wants to be part of somebody or something that's successful. And throughout our years, our 21 years in the chapter, we've been recognized by the state, we've been recognized by the region, we've been recognized internationally for the work that we do in our 4 national program areas. We've been recognized, by our community for the work that we do, within Trenton, the greater Trenton Mercer County community area. And I think that's what has allowed us to be a successful organization, not just in growth, because sometimes people talk about numbers, but it's really about the impact. You want numbers not to have numbers. You want numbers because you want to have impact in your respective communities. And I'm very proud of the fact of the work that Lambda Sigma does in providing real support. One, to mentoring our Sigma Beta clubs. We got about 55 Sigma Beta clubs, young men, and the support that we provide to the community as well.
Listen, guys, if y'all just not tuning in, it's your boy Wiggles. We're live with Lamothe. Oh, man, I make it sound good when I do it like that, man. This is Wiggles World Network, home of the young woman, with your opinion. We're live in the Blue Reunion 2K22 group, man. Listen, if you just now tuned in, man, please share the video right now, man. I got the video shared in some other Sigma groups, man. Please share the video, man. Tag your LBs, your DPs, your ADPs, your vice president, your chapter presidents, your state director, regional directors, tag the international president. You tag everybody, man. They need to be watching this, man, and listening to this conversation. I am as well a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated 62028. Check me out, man. I know y'all like to go to the blueprint to see who we are. I'm in that thing, okay? So I want to ask you this question. It just came to mind. I think it's a very important question, and I have never asked this question before. But in your opinion, who does Sigma look for when it comes to recruiting members? And when I say who, not specifically, but the type of man that we know could move Sigma forward. Let's go.
Okay, man, great question. But before I answer that question, man, you mentioned about inviting ADPs and ADPs and all these people to the call, and I just want to take a personal privilege at this time and just give a shout out to the Chimodu family, who was my ADP when I pledged Sigma, and just a moment. He passed away yesterday, and,
Wow.
and when you mentioned ADP, that kind of brought me back to him. So I just want to take a minute to his family and say, we're praying for them and we love them and God bless them and stay strong. We're there with with my ADP, who I love, who helped guide me to becoming a brother of Sigma. So shout out to Chris Chimodu and his family.
Absolutely. Peace and blessings to his family.
Amen. Amen. So to your question, brother, I think that could also be part of the challenge that we have in Phi Beta Sigma today, because I think that there's too much variance in who we are bringing into the organizations. If we're going to be real candid and talk, again, that's what I do. I'm a straight shooter, and I know that's what you are too. I think sometimes as men of Sigma, when you see some of the stuff on social media and you see how brothers are representing Phi Beta Sigma with their letters and the colors, you say, wow. And part of that is because I think we do not have some like clear guidelines in terms of the great question you asked, which is who we should be recruiting. And I think that we have to do a better job of providing some parameters for our chapters, both at the collegiate level and the alumni level, in terms of what are the characteristics. And I know that was in the light. And we kind of fell away from the perfection school, because some of that information is in a perfection school. But I think we need to create and develop a platform and give that to collegiate brothers and give that to alumni brothers. Okay, this is what a Sigma man should possess, and let's go target these type of individuals and kind of reel it in, because we have too much variance. And that's why I think that we're running into some of the issues that we're having with branding, with some of the issues that we're having with the perception that in some cities, in some states, in some regions, some chapters, brothers are having with Phi Beta Sigma. So we got to get a real better control of how we are branding ourselves, but more important to your question, the type of brother that we are looking for who speaks to Sigma. What we want, whether you're in the East Coast or the West Coast or the Southern region, whether you're in Georgia or New Jersey, when everybody in Sigma and outside of Sigma is thinking about Sigma, there's some things that should come to mind immediately in terms of like, boom, boom, boom. We know that a brother Sigma, a man of Sigma, this is what he's going to be about. And I think that's going to get us to a better place. And I think that's going to help us, be able to grow exponentially. It's going to help us, really delineate between quality versus quantity. So that's a powerful, that's a great question, and we got to do some work in getting us to a better place with respect to that, my brother.
All right, so we're gonna continue on this journey of leadership, and so You said you worked on the collegiate level. We discussed that. The alumni level, we touched that a little bit. So now let's go state.
Okay. Okay. So, I worked as a mentor to about 4 or 5 state directors. I've been on like multiple state boards because I am a local person. I always feel that, you got all politics, all work is local. So for me, I just felt I really delved into building relationships with chapters within my state. I helped charter collegiate chapters within my state. I've helped charter alumni chapters within my state. And I've always been that brother's brother. Even in like some of my campaigns, I talk about brother to brother. Because I think that, that is how we really get to a better place when every brother is helping another brother. We got to uplift each other.
Right.
We are a fraternity. So I think our priority should always be not about self-promotion or self-elevation, but how do I, Brother Jet, help elevate Brother Trey? And that's how we grow as an organization. So at the state level, man, I did a lot of work creating initiatives, for our state brothers, helping, asking our state alumni brothers to provide suits for our collegiate state brothers when they were graduating. I did things, I did things of that nature, and ensuring that our state brothers provided mentorship to our collegiate brothers, in their majors and whatever type of field of work they want to go into. So a lot of my pulling up my sleeves was really learned at the state level. So, and then once I did that, as I got older, I started providing mentorship to a lot of state directors and serving on state advisory boards to help in moving, growth and initiatives in the state of New Jersey.
And then on the regional level, in what capacity did you serve?
So I spent 4. Shout out to Brother Keith West, a big brother of mine, because I always wanted to just stay on the local side, right? Because I was like, the regional stuff is too political for me. But he said, nah, man, you got too much talent to stay at the state or chapter level. Offer yourself to the regional level. And because education was truly one of my passions, I decided to offer myself for the position of regional director of education. So I was blessed and elected to serve 2 terms as regional director of education. And again, I think, when you're blessed with an opportunity to lead, you got to figure out how are you going to help brothers in that position that you have? Because leadership is a behavior. It's not a title. You got to really focus in on, okay, I'm in this position. What can I do to promote my brothers? What can I do to promote my community while serving in this capacity? So as a regional director of education, I developed the Taylor Morrison Brown Scholarship that allowed collegiate brothers that, to have scholarship. That was in 2006. We still promote those same scholarships in 2021, man. So that's a Sigma Legacy landmark. As a regional director of education, I helped create the Sigma Reading Project in the Eastern region, where we started having partnership even before our official adopted school initiatives, where we were having Sigma readings with Read Across America, and going to schools and impressing upon the elementary and middle school students the importance of developing their reading skills. And I know you're an educator too. So that's key, trying to change the paradigm shift of, in particular, our young students of color, man. And, getting beyond learning how to read, but rather reading to learn. That's very critical, man. And so I developed that and worked with chapters across the region as the regional director of education, and really focused in on education for our students, in particular our brown and black students in elementary, middle school. Mm-hmm.
And now to the international level, brother. I ain't even gonna ask you the same question, but how impactful were you on the international level?
Bro, we made our international director of education program a sexy program, prior,
What's up with sexy education programs?
because I think at the very core, all Sigmas are very passionate about social action. That's who we are, and we are very passionate about social action. Our Bigger, Better Business program, it is what it is, man. And I think, shout out to, Reginald Slush, because he did a phenomenal job in bringing our international Bigger, Better Business program to the next level. But we've kind of struggled prior to that to really getting brothers to really hone in on Bigger, Better Business. But our education program, with people like it just didn't move too much. But serving as international adult education, I shared about with you facilitating the opening of the school in Ghana. We doubled our scholarship opportunities while we were serving as international direct education. I'm most proud of the fact that now our national education program, our adopted school initiative, is the staple of our national education program. And I wrote that program back in 2013. I developed that program, because I saw, I had the vision that what can Sigma do to provide real impact and encourage our young scholars, our young Black scholars, to be successful in the classroom.
Wait a minute. You trying to tell me I'm on live right now on Wiggles World Network, home of the unwarranted pedestrian opinion, with the man who created this program?
Yes, sir.
What are we doing here, man? What are we doing here? Hey, look, my prices just went up, guys. I want to let you know my prices just went up. Come on, man. That's an incredible. And so I want to interject this, man, knowing that you initiated this thing. This is another one of your babies, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're still doing this today, almost 10 years later.
Absolutely. 2013, I wrote it. 2021, you do the math, man. We still, we went from like that first year it was developed by me in 2013. We had about 75 chapters that jumped on board. We now have over 300 chapters across the country, both collegiate and alumni, that have formalized partnerships with elementary school, middle schools, and high school. That's a Sigma legacy landmark. I'm real proud about that, man, because what we are doing, we are teaching, we are working with our young Black scholars and ensuring that they're doing well, excelling in the classroom, helping them with mentoring and tutoring. And that is how we change the game and ensure closing the gap for our young brothers and sisters, man, academically, in terms of academic achievement. So very excited and proud of that, having that vision, and it's still going on today. Yes, sir.
That's an incredible impact, man, but that's not the only position you had on the international level. Am I correct?
That is correct. I also, so you've done your research, Brother Trey.
Let's go.
I served, that was an elected position. I served that in an appointed position as the International Director of Standards of Awards, and I did that under 2 different presidents, right? And while I served in that capacity, we wrote and redeveloped our chapter reporting mechanism, like the PIAs and the CSAF and the annual chapter report. We wrote that in 2007, and it was approved. And 14 years later, we're still using that same chapter reporting tool to capture the great works that chapters are doing across the country. So I sit back and say,
"Get this man in DST, man. Get this man in DST right now. What we talking about?"
But it's all a labor of love, not for the recognition, because I love my organization. So I'm going to put my best foot forward and work with teams and figure out what type of programming and what can we do to move the needle to get my organization to a better place. So it's never about me, but it's about the organization, man. So seeing, the PIAs, the annual chapter report, the CSAFs and chapters really getting into it. Every time I see brothers receiving awards, chapter awards, I smile, because it started in 2007 with the team and myself, and we kind of like, we laid the foundation for that. The other elected position that I served was international vice president. So I'm the immediate past vice president of fraternity. Very proud of the work that we did there, Brother Trey, because, when you use the term historic, that means first, right? So during our tenure, it was the first time that we had over 12,000 financial members, because, we're not counting centennial, because that's an anomaly, right? But it was the first time under our tenure that we had reached that number, because we created a real strategy, 10% growth at every level. You probably heard us talking about that when I was vice president. We wanted to have 10% growth at the chapter level, 10% growth at the state level, 10% growth at the regional level, and 10% growth at the international level. And we worked with chapter presidents and vice regional directors and state directors to move the needle month to month. And we got there. And again, it's real work. It can't be rhetoric. It can't be pie in the sky. You've got to be willing to roll your sleeves up and put the work in month to month. And we did that, serving as vice president, created a comprehensive incentive program while we were vice president, which allowed brothers and chapters and states and regions to receive monies For what? When they excelled in reclamation, reactivation, and retention. People actually got money. Nope, that didn't happen prior to me becoming vice president. We still do it. Sigma Legacy Landmark. And because of my educational background, right? Managing people, managing processes, looking at processes and seeing how, they could become more efficient and effective. I saw that we needed to improve our MIP process in terms of the paperwork that we were doing. So I worked with the IHQ staff and we created an MIP automation process, which allowed now for our members to receive their materials, the new members to receive their materials in a timely manner. Because it was important to me that our new members had a good first experience. Right. So that started in 2017. Even the MIP certification process. We developed that back in 2017. So now brothers can get certified in the confines of their home. They don't have to go to a state conference or a regional conference to get certified. You can get certified right in your living room, right? But we worked with a team at IHQ to create that MIP certification process. And that's, again, these are all examples of some things that we were able to create while serving as the international first vice president. Even the categories, our Mission Possible categories. I created additional categories and encouraged chapters to get to different levels, level up categories. Right, and that has enabled our chapters in our organization to have more chapters growing. So, I mean, I just I'm very proud of the work that we did as vice president of the fraternity as well.
One thing that I'm liking about what I'm hearing, man, is the fact that 95, 6% of what you said in terms of what you've accomplished, man, you use the pronoun we. Mm-hmm. That's an incredible thing. And I don't know if y'all paying attention, man, but you use the pronoun we a lot. You know what I'm saying? And that's an incredible thing to know that it was a team. Mm-hmm. I want to ask you one more question, man, and then the floor is going to be completely yours because there's only one thing after international vice president. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we're here tonight.
Right. Right.
So if in your opinion, if you could take one thing from every region in the chapter, what would that one thing be from every region that makes Sigma great?
So, and it's interesting you add, that's a great question. We have seven, we all know we have 7 regions. Sometimes I say 8 because, sometimes I actually say 9. We got 7 regions. We also have military chapters, which I think they need to get their own, recognition as well, because it's a different type of process with military chapters. And then we have an international general board, which, and all of those 9 regions have their own separate cultures, right? And I think we got to get to a place where we actually have one culture. And I think that's when we're going to be able to really, have significant impact internally within the organization. But I think everything starts, very candidly, Brother Trey, I think everything starts with brotherhood. I know our current organization speaks to the concept of brotherhood first, right? But we've got to actually live that. We can't just be talking about brotherhood first, putting our hands up and saying it. We've got to live it, and one of the things that I pride myself on is in my 33 years of being a Sigma, even though I was made at Rutgers University, that's my mother chapter, I've always seen myself as an international brother of Phi Beta Sigma, traveling as a collegiate to all the different, traveling to all the different regions, meeting brothers from different regions. As an alumni brother, going on my own dime, traveling to all different regions because I truly believed in the concept of international. Like at the beginning of this interview, I talked about my concept is broad. I don't think in a limited perspective. So I really believe that we're going to get to a better place. And I have the experience, I've got the relationships across all the regions to help us get to where we need to get to. I've said this at so many, virtual chapter meetings, that we've got to get to a place where we truly, not just say, but we truly operate as one Sigma. And so that's what I'm looking to get us to. And I think I have the temperament. I think I believe I have the ability, the relationships, the skill set to get us to the point where when we, that we're working and operating and providing impact as one Sigma.
All right, brother. So now here's the time where you have the opportunity, man, to introduce to the world via Wiggles World Network, your platform, and to discuss what you bring to the table, what you're looking to do in and with and for Sigma and through Sigma, uh, in the with the hopes of being elected as our very next international president. So my video is gonna go off, and you're gonna go on, and you're gonna do your thing, and let's go.
Okay. So first, thank you for the opportunity, man. I really appreciate being on this platform to share our vision for Sigma. And the campaign platform is Sigma Forward, because we honestly believe that, you know, we as an organization have to be forward thinking and forward acting in all that we do. I've been very passionate about my messaging in terms of that. I've been very specific and direct on how we're going to get there. There's no need to create a whole bunch of new initiatives and not have any impact. We have got to be the organization that's deliberate, that's intentional, that's strategic about improving our impact internally and externally. And what I mean by that, let us focus on our our national programs. You know, with bigger, better business, how do we move the needle? Well, we move the needle by creating partnerships with Fortune 500 and Russell 3000 companies. We've got to be the organization that's strategic about leveraging the nearly 15,000 financial members and the nearly 50,000 unfinancial members, leveraging those numbers and creating partnerships with companies and corporations that will allow us to now give us resources to provide scholarship opportunities for our Sigma Betas, for our alumni brothers, for our collegiate brothers, and even underwrite, you know, our conferences, which would allow our members to spend less money to get to conventions. Value-added proposition. Our education program. Sigma's done a pretty good job of getting brothers to college, getting sisters to college. We have got to move the needle, be forward thinking. How do we ensure that we help them matriculate year 2, year 3, graduation, earning degrees? This is what Sigma has to be able to do in moving the needle in our education program. With respect to our Sigma Beta clubs, we understand that mentorship works, that when we invest in our young students, in particular our males, that they're going to do better in their classrooms, they're going to make better decisions. What can we do to multiply the number of Sigma Beta Club members that we mentor? How can we invest financially in them? How do we invest in the chapters that have mentorship programs? And then also write for grants to get other organizations to help providing support and services and resources for our youth auxiliary group. And finally, our 4th national program, social action, which I believe every Sigma has that in their heart. We have got to be the organization that speaks to the issues of the day. Our brothers and sisters have been dying to gun violence, some at the hands of law enforcement. We have got to be the organization that speaks to that. How are we providing recommendations to law enforcement on how they should be engaging with communities of color? Because that's different. How are we providing recommendations and suggestions to legislation with respect to police brutality and racial profiling? That's an issue that's devastating our communities. We've got to speak to that. We've got to speak to the issues in a timely and responsible way. What is Sigma doing with respect to the issues of voter suppression? What is Sigma doing with respect to providing, support and ensuring that our students of color are receiving quality education? What is Sigma doing with respect to talking about our public health crisis and how that's adversely affecting our communities? We have got to be on the front end, not reactionary, but progressive and proactive. That's what Sigma Forward is about. That's what progressive thinking is about. That's, forward acting and forward thinking in all that we do. And finally, one of the things that I really think is very important with our platform, making sure that we provide the support to our collegiate brothers. We have got to put more focus and energy, resources, and talent to our collegiate brothers, investing in them while they're in college, ensuring that they're doing well, helping them receive paid internships and paid fellowship opportunities, ensuring that they're doing well and receiving degrees and graduating with decent GPAs, helping them get jobs, pairing them up with a brother that's older, that can help them through their professional career. When we truly invest in our collegiate brothers, we're going to see a seamless transition from them in the collegiate chapter to an alumni chapter. We have got to be my brother's keeper and ensure that we are providing the support to our collegiate brothers, not just in their Sigma journey, but their journey in life. And I honestly believe that this platform is a platform that's real. It's a platform that's attainable and achievable. It's a platform that's very specific, but it's also a platform that speaks to every brother in Phi Beta Sigma. No rhetoric, no pie in the sky, but genuine leadership. And my leadership, my experience speaks to, I've got tested and proven programs and initiatives, and I want to use my skill set that I've developed professionally, that I've developed in other civic organizations, that I've developed in Phi Beta Sigma to be the next international president of Phi Beta Sigma. The brotherhood deserves not a politician, but a true leader, a proven leader. And that's who I am, Brother Jean-Pierre Lamothe, looking to be the next 36th international president of Phi Beta Sigma. Thank you for the opportunity, my brother.
Yes, sir, man. What an incredible job grabbing it down, man, and giving it to him, man. Again, man, I thank you so much for taking the time, man, to sit down and talk with me, man. It was an incredible interview, man. Very, very, very informative, very clear, very concise, man. I'm excited for this upcoming election, man. Two great candidates that's coming our way. Much respect to both of you guys, man. Again, I thank you. One final question that I gotta ask you.
Absolutely, brother.
What is your most prized possession on the wall behind you?
Oh man, that's funny. Well, you know what? Man, you're killing me with that. Well, you know what? I'm about to tell. No, you know what my most prized possession on the wall? If you look to, there's a 6-foot paddle that's to the left. That paddle was a gift that was given to me by spring 89, fall 89, because I was the commandant of that line. So I have all of these awards that I've gotten at the state level, regional level, international level, civic, organizations. That right there, that paddle, when I was a commandant of the 489 line, and they came to me say that, they created a gift for me for the work that I did in guiding them through their Hell Week and trying to become a Men of Sigma. That might be the one that I appreciated the most, man. So shout out to 489.
Hey man, I knew I would catch y'all guard with that one right there. I'm trying my best, man. But look, man, again, I thank you so much. Don't go nowhere, man. I'm gonna wrap it up, man, and me and you gonna chop it up after the show. Ladies and gentlemen, man, I thank y'all so much for tuning in, rocking with your boy. It's your boy Wiggles. You know what time it is, man. I thank y'all so much, man. If you're in the Blue Union group, you ain't already got that cruise information, get that cruise information, man. My slogan is do somebody good. Somebody will do you good. Keep God first, never last. We out of here.
Everybody moving.